What's up, YouTube? Hope you had a decent weekend. Hope you guys enjoyed some of that crazy football if you're into that. Just looking at the futures today, okay, right now, they're red. And if you don't know what the futures are, uh, literally just Google the word futures with an S, and multiple sites will come up. I use CNN Business. And it shows you what's going on in the markets after 6 p.m. So Sunday at 6 p.m. futures opens up. Every weekday after 6 p.m. Eastern, right? Futures open up. Right now the Dow is down half basis point, 158 points. S&P's down almost, that's 0.64%, so 26 points, and that's the SPY, and that's quite a bit. And then the Nasdaq's really getting beat. It's down almost 100 points, 0.83%. I mean, this could just continue all the way into tomorrow. If things open up, if it opens up like this, the markets will be down a couple percents across the board in terms of whatever stocks you're holding. If you're like me and you don't hold stocks anymore because you're not indoctrinated into buying and holding and that garbage, that's when you can just enter puts on open, or in the pre-market you could start doing some swing trading and get ready for market open. Obviously, futures can change by the morning. It's not a certainty. It can start the rally going into the open. Perma bulls are strong right now. Friday showed 140 million imbalance to the buy side on the SPY alone on Friday. And this is some of the stuff I talk about in the Discord, okay? We talk about positions, strategies, world news, politics, all that stuff, and it all matters when you're trading, okay? So there's been a lot of stuff going on in Eastern civilization right now that has made the markets go red right now. But, you're going to have this group of people who are permanent bulls who want a Santa rally, even though it's only November 27th. Santa rallies usually happen going into Christmas. They don't happen November 27th. But you're going to have these perma bulls that just pump everything and anything and everything. So futures could be up in the air, but as of right now, they're quite red. Even so, CNN shows you commodities, it shows you currencies, it shows you other exchanges. Crude is down, even natural gas is down. Natural gas usually goes up in winter, but it's kind of like all-time highs almost, right? $7.30. I mean, it used to be like $4 or $5, so it's like significantly up. Everything's red, so that means market opens. If it isn't pumping, you just enter some puts. I like Apple, right? Thursday, Apple puts were up 600% to 700% at the money strike for us. Friday, Tesla calls were up, and Apple calls were up, right? So it's like, you just go with what the market's doing. We can create our own squeezes, is what I like to say. If you can, I'm not necessarily saying if you can predict, but if you can kind of take a gamble on the direction of a stock, or of the markets, you can pick a stock and then play on that gamble, and a call and a put is going to be double digits to usually hundreds of percent more than what the stock moves. Like a 2.5% move on Apple is like a 500% move on the options, okay? And then the big five that I like to pay attention to is the FANGs. Amazon, Google, Meta, Nvidia, Apple, but I like to include Tesla. I actually don't really include Meta anymore. Meta's gotten beat to hell, and I don't even really consider it one of those big boys, or really even Nvidia. I basically look at, let me just rephrase it. I mean, people group the FANGs as that, but I like to say, basically in this order, Apple, Tesla, even though Microsoft is the second biggest holding of the SPY, Apple, Tesla, Amazon, Microsoft, Google. I'm a little more biased to the longs on Google. Like, I think Google should probably be the most valuable company on earth, in my opinion. You literally, people can't function without it in anywhere. You can function without Apple. You can just have an Android. You can have a Google phone. You can have a BlackBerry. Okay, you could have a Nokia. You could have a Sony phone. You can have a lot of things. Apple, we don't need Apple. Apple being $1 trillion company, it's like a joke. They haven't done anything innovative since the iPhone 1 at all. Making an Apple laptop and charging $3,000 for it because it's metal and breaks easy. Who cares? Making a watch. I mean, smart watches have been out for a long time. I mean, I have a calculator watch from the freaking 90s. Like, who cares? Google, people cannot live without. People who own iPhones couldn't probably live without Google, okay? And then Google is like a web. It ain't just Google it. It's constantly listening, knows what you want to buy, knows what you're looking at, tracks you. Google Earth is like insane technology, okay? Pretty much everything about Google is insane. So I'm biased on the call side on Google. I'm getting a little off course here. But those are the ones I like to watch because they have the best, most active options activity, okay? Next to the SPY, which is the most. But the SPY is very difficult to play. There's hundreds of companies on the SPY. You could have a couple go down and a bunch go up, and then trades flat as well. So it just crushes calls, crushes puts. We have a particular strategy in our group that we've been trying to get the nuances behind it and play with those, and it is pretty accurate. I would say eight times out of 10, it is very accurate, and it's like one kind of indicator on. I use Webull for it online just to track this indicator, and it has been very helpful in the last couple weeks for predicting the direction. Okay, it doesn't tell you what a stock is going to be priced or anything like that, but it predicts a direction. So we've got a group that's kind of dedicated to that, and I mean, if you want to join the Discord, the link is in the description below. It's not the join button on Google here or on YouTube. It's in the description, okay? And I mean, it's $15. You get tips on this indicator, and you get all the market news. You get callouts. You check the track like my record, the history. Hundreds of % gainers, like week after week. I primarily am covering earnings plays right now because earnings will never go away. The whole market is. Earnings runs the entire market outside of news. That's really all that runs it. Political news or events or global events, individual stock news, and earnings. Because earnings is every quarter and annually. It literally is a cycle that never ends. You don't need pump and dumps. You don't need gambles. You don't need YOLOs. You don't need squeeze plays. And every one of these plays we've discussed over the last 4 months has paid better than any squeeze play. AMC's best day was 300%, and you were required to hold for a half a year with blind faith and absolute loyalty. Sure, it worked, but that was like lightning in a bottle. It wasn't really realistic. The company hasn't profited for 12 quarters. It's headed for bankruptcy again. They've exhausted all revenue-generating avenues. You use APE because you run out of shares because you diluted over and over and over and over. So you make this APE. I don't even know how that's legal, guys. I still don't. I don't get it. It is not legal from what I can understand. Anyways, we create our own squeezes in this Discord. And on my channel, this is the kind of stuff I cover, and I just wanted to give everybody a heads up that tomorrow more likely than not, the entire market, each part of it, will be red. Okay, automobile sector, oil and gas sector, tech, cyclicals, consumables, commodities, uh, you know, upstarts, you name it. It's going to be red tomorrow based on these futures. I advise you begin to pay attention to futures literally every day, especially if you don't know how to short. If you don't know how to short and you're too stubborn to learn, and you won't buy puts, you need to know if the market is going to be green, because if it isn't, you aren't playing in the market that day. This one video alone, right here, right now, this could save you thousands and thousands of dollars, because I'm literally telling you, if the markets are red and you only know how to buy and sell stock, you don't want to be buying and selling on that day, because the odds are not in your favor for that day. You're facing a red wave of financial destruction, buying into a down day or down week. January of this year, I don't know if you guys remember, but January was the worst month in like 20 years. And we're headed into a recession on the back of the most rate hikes ever, again, in like 20 years. So January is probably not going to be good, and the market's going to have to kick the bucket at some point and begin that nosedive into it. Okay? Everywhere I look, you've got companies laying people off. I'm pretty sure when we get these Thanksgiving, these Black Friday numbers, when we get these numbers, they are not going to be good, okay? There's, it ain't going to be good. I'm fairly certain of that, okay? So, exercise caution tomorrow, guys. Hope to see some new members in the Discord. And let's try to end this year good on a high note financially. If that means shorting, that's fine. But let's try to end the market with some wins.